dead one more time. Hold on, pedal to the metal, race to the finish line. Oh yeah. Hold on, pedal to the metal, race to the finish line. Let's go.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Or you can borrow big. Lending Frog is a new financial gig. It's hip to hop into cash. LendingFrog.com is making a splash. Dig it, dig it. Dig it, dig it. Check into cash.
The cash you need today is waiting for you at Check Into Cash. It's your money, so come in and get it.
Get a payday advance today for up to $425. At Check Into Cash, we make it quick, easy, and confidential.
The cash you need is right here, so stop worrying and stop in to Check Into Cash today.
Borrowers often use payday advances over a period of months, which can be expensive. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it on over here in the shopping mall.
Good morning and welcome to Old Town Cleveland here on WOOP FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.woopfm.com. You can call us here at 614-5553. Good morning. Morgan Denny is here. He's our intern from Bradley High School, and he's learning to run the board today. So if it doesn't work today, it's Morgan's fault.
Yep. Blame it on me.
And
blame it on the intern.
If you got some announcements for us?
Yes, I do, Ron. Okay, Hardwick. There's a Hardwick warehouse sale today from 9 to 1, and the 22nd annual Cousin Jake Memorial Bluegrass Festival, that's a mouthful, is being held today in Etowah, Tennessee, in the Historic Gem Theater. The doors open at 11 a.m., and the picking starts at noon. Featured bands include Just Us, Valley Grass Express, Hamilton County Raiders, Ramblers, and the Dismembered Tennesseans. Hours of music for $18 per person. And there will be a free lecture on the Tellico I cannot read today.
Archaeological.
Project from 1967 to 82 by Dr. Jeff Chapman Namaro, March 6, 2 to 3 p.m. at the Sequoia Birthplace Museum in Loudon, Tennessee. I read that as London. The date has been announced for the second annual Etowah Moonshine Festival on June 10th and 11th. The festival was a great success last year, and get ready for daylight savings time next Saturday night. That will move your clock forward 1 hour. So, will we lose sleep or gain sleep? I don't know.
We lose sleep,
Lose
unfortunately, on that night.
That's not going to be fun.
And this
going
next
back to
thing's
school.
exciting.
Yeah, and then the next one is the Fish Day for the Arkansas Pond Stalkers. Call them at 1-870 or 1-800. Can't read today. I apologize. 1-870-578-9773. Again, that's 1-870-578-9773. Call T Bandy at 478-2405.
If you need
fish in your pond.
For your pond. That sounds like a good name for a band, isn't it? The Arkansas Pond Stalkers.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good name there. Well,
Yeah, I'd listen to that.
thank you, Morgan.
Problem.
The Hardwick suit sales going on. If you've never been at Hardwick's Clothes out on Urban Road, I guess it's
That's
Urban?
Otasso.
Old Tasso, right. It turns into Urban on the other end. That's right. Old Tasso. Go out there. There's signs. You go in the front door, and you can buy suits. They're cheap.
$75.
Yeah.
Jackets for $50, slacks for $15 to $25.
I went yesterday.
Got the
After I had
deal.
lunch with Bill yesterday, I went out to the Hardwicks, and I bought now, get there early because the sizes go down as there. And
So you got
unfortunately-
there real early.
Well, I had to get there real early to get any big jacket they have, I usually just buy, if it fits me, I buy it. So I got a nice pink jacket yesterday. I don't know where I'll wear it at yet, but,
Very brave.
it's a great place to go. And, like I say, daylight saving time, I give my commentary for about 2 hours. Why the heck do we do that? It just, if you got grandkids who are on a schedule and you change that schedule, there's some heck to pay.
Sure is.
Think about that.
We got Gary Ormby in here. You may notice that Deb's not with us today. She's gone to a Tennessee Trail of Tears meeting over in Murfreesboro, and she's on the board over there. She's headed out of town today, and will be back next week with us.
She's not at that casino, is she?
No, she's just going to Murfreesboro. So, but in her place, very capable of doing radio. Not as good as looking, though, as Deb, I have to admit. But he's cute, but, he's not that. Gary Ormby, good morning, Gary. How you doing?
Well, I was doing pretty good. You threw me on the bus there, but glad to be here. Enjoyed my last few visits here. And
Some people may know Gary as a announcer for WBAC for years, and now you do the Buzz, right? You do
the Buzz and the Mix.
And the
We're on-
Mix,
like
okay.
Tonight, we're on the Mix tonight for the basketball game, the
Bradley-
sub-state game of the girls. The Barretts.
they'll be
taking
here
on
at
Bradley at 7 o'clock tonight. Stewart's Creek is coming to town. They're a formidable force to play against, but sub-state time, they're all tough.
So you'll be on Mix 104.1 tonight with the Barretts from Bradley
Mix
High
104
School.
tonight for the Barretts at 7 o'clock. That's here at home finally. We went to Cookville all this week, but then Monday night, the Bears will be on the road. We'll be on the Mix Monday. That will be at 8 o'clock because it's 7 o'clock local time, Central Time Zone. But Walker Valley will be home. We'll have them on the Buzz Monday night at 7 o'clock. The Bears will be on the road to Blackman. Walker Valley will be home hosting Lawrence County. So neither team will have an easy road to go, especially the Bears are taking on Blackman, who's number 1 and 31-0 on the season, and just a
Well, they beat the
formidable
number
team.
2 team the other night, so did
Beat
they?
the number 2 team who was unbeaten 29-0. We beat them on the road Tuesday night. So the Bears can do it. It will be easy though.
I'll be interested. I'll probably be there tonight to watch that game. Our guest today is Bill Stamps Jr. And introduce who you got with us here.
My lovely wife, Yana, right here next to me.
Okay, well, yeah, we're glad you brought her.
I am-
You brought a little class to the whole group here today.
Yeah.
I have to admit, Bill's dad moved to Cleveland in what year? Was
I want to say like 56, 57.
right,
something
and he
like
went
that.
to work for WCLE.
He did. He was the general manager and the morning man, chief cook and bottle washer. He actually, I think, was responsible for putting WCLE FM on the air in those days. And then we came to live, my brothers Gary, Ricky, and I came to live with Dad about 3 years later, something like that. Right? I entered the sixth grade. I want to say it was either the first or second year that George R. Stewart had been built. And my two brothers went to school there. As a matter of fact, my youngest brother, Ricky, went to school with Alan Jones. They were in the same class there.
That's a claim to fame right there now. You know, your dad was here actually before Corky Whitlock, which was a longtime announcer for WBAC, and before Tom Rowland.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Tom came probably in 1960, 61.
It was Hoskins and Sharp who owned WCLE at the time.
Right.
They were down there on the corner of Inman and Ocoee. And then right next to that was the WCLE studio. And then next to that was the infamous Spot.
Oh, the Spot's still there.
Yep, I saw that. We went in there and had a fantastic hamburger the other day.
Corky came in 61, by the way. That's
61,
when he first
right.
came here.
Corky, of course, a longtime announcer for WBAC, was the voice of the Bradley Bears for
50 years.
Yeah, I've got how many thousands of games that he done, football, baseball, basketball, whatever the announcer was. He was there and just recently retired completely, hasn't he?
Just about 3 years ago, he had some health issues with some strokes, and he's stable now, doing okay. And he was also, he broadcast Lee University and Lee College back when it was the college, and Cleveland State, Polk County High School, Ooltewah, Walker Valley, Cleveland, Charleston.
Yes.
I mean, we've done them all over the years. The Corky, I think, was on the air 53 years doing sports, plus his morning DJ show. He'd go on the road, and we'd get back at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and he'd get up and be on the air by 6 o'clock that next morning, doing his sports and news and his morning drive show.
Wow.
He done that morning show, and as a little boy growing up listening to that, and then I remember Tom Rowland coming on doing morning shows. I don't remember your dad being on the air. I just knew the name and found a really great picture of him standing out.
Yeah, I saw that. That was fantastic.
Newt Medford.
Yep.
So now you may notice that Bill's probably got a pretty good radio voice himself, and Bill has done some radio and many other things. We're going to delve into that today.
Delve?
Delve.
That's a
I
new
like
word.
that word.
12. We're going to 12 into that today.
Dwell and delve, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm from the South. You just have to.
So am I.
Yeah. So you may not understood I explained to Yana the difference between y'all and all y'all a little earlier. Y'all means one of you. All y'all means everybody. So we're going to help her speak a little bit more Southern. But she did go to Vanderbilt, so she should be able to know a lot of that stuff.
That's where we met in Nashville, actually, about 20 years ago.
Does she like barbecue then?
Oh, well, she's
Southern.
She's Southern girl.
That reminds me, G. Daddy Barbecue. He does catering, but out of his place today, he's actually going to be serving lunch. You have to go. It will be to go, but he has ribs and barbecue and other things there. And pretty reasonable. He's got a full menu today. You go out to Cleveland State, turn on Atkinson Drive, go past the baseball field, and there's the technology building on the left out there. Go around the back of it and go in G. Daddy Barbecue. It's just a working place for him. But he's got a little counter there, and you tell him what you want, and then $7, $8, you'll get some great barbecue. I've had him cater a couple of my things for me, and oh my goodness, it's just unbelievable. If you're from Charleston, you probably know the Dunn family name up there. Anthony Dunn's the one that runs G. Daddy Barbecue.
Wow.
So it's called Barbecue Done Right. So we'll talk about all that today. Tell me about your dad, Bill. I mean, tell us about everything. I mean, give me a whole DNA of him, where he was born.
Well, he was born in Nashville. As a matter of fact, Dad and my two brothers and I were delivered by the same doctor at Vanderbilt Hospital. And he started in radio when he was about 19 years old. A fellow named Judd Collins, who was... is my mic level up okay for you there?
Yeah, but my headphones are bad.
Oh, I see. All right.
You go right ahead.
He started with WLAC-FM when it was F&M, and then went on to WSM. He was one of the first MCs for the Grand Ole Opry before Turner Grant took over. He moved around a lot, as do most radio guys, especially in those days. He was always morning man for 62 years, as a matter of fact.
62 years he was the morning man?
62 years he was the morning man. He started off, as a matter of fact, I've come back here. One of the reasons I've come back here is to take a shot at writing a book about Dad and our time here in Cleveland. Really, truly, the happiest times of my childhood were right here in Cleveland when we came to live with my dad. My mother was having some problems, and so he got us from Franklin, Tennessee, and came over here. And as I was telling you off mic, Gary, we went to George R. Stewart, and then I went on to Arnold Junior High, and Gary and Ricky went on a couple of 3 grades at George R. Stewart before we moved out to the West Coast. But Dad worked at, Griffin, Georgia, Gallatin, Tennessee. He was one of the originals with Hoss Allen on WLAC, who pitched the Randy Wood Record Mart, where you could buy either records or you could buy 30 baby chicks. And they
No real records back then. They weren't.
Yeah, they were real, right? 45s. I remember watching Dad here in Cleveland, Tennessee at remote control broadcasts, autographing 45s for some of the people that would turn out. But he worked in, here in Cleveland, of course, prior to that, WGNS in Murfreesboro, WLBJ in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's when I first kind of got on the mic with my dad. I was about 4 years old, sitting in his lap, and I would ring a bell and say, "Now's the time for savings." And he'd go, "That's right, ladies. Now's the time for savings at your Parks Belk department store." You know, that sort of thing.
If he was on the air 62 years and he started in his 18th, he was on the air till he was 80 years old.
81.
81.
Actually, yes. Wow. Yeah. He was quite the guy. He started out here with Biscuits with Bill. I think he did a show on WLBJ in Bowling Green. He discovered Jimmy Sacca and the Hilltoppers. I don't know if you remember that group or not.
No.
They had a couple of hits, P.S. I Love You, Until Then, and made the Ed Sullivan Show, and then some Smartacre Northerner, some Yankee, ripped the band away from him. But from that group, the Hilltoppers, came Billy Vaughn and his orchestra out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Pearly Shells, I think, was his big hit. Billy became part owner of Decca Records with Randy. As a matter of fact, when I was in the Marine Corps, stationed at Camp Pendleton, I came up on the weekends and worked as an usher at the Hollywood Palace on Hollywood and Vine, where they shot Shindig and a couple of 3 dating game shows. And I was the usher there for some time. Billy Vaughn, right down the street at Decca Records, got me the job there. Dad was, everyone who knew Dad knew that he was the consummate professional when it came to radio. People used to tell me, "Gosh, it must be really exciting to live with your dad." And the truth of the matter is that he blew it all out on the mic, and then he just didn't want to talk to you the rest of the day. Most especially because normally it was normally us saying, "Dad, could you spot us $20 till the next paycheck?" You know, that sort of thing. But we grew up in a radio family. Radio has just kind of become second nature to us all. All of my brothers, Clay and Gary and Ricky. I think Ricky, he didn't do much with radio. Clay didn't either. Tracy was pretty good in radio. But we all grew up in a radio station, basically.
Well, you and your family, your dad included, and yourself and your brothers, you've seen radio grow from the little 2,000 and 3,000 watt AM stations into the mega FM systems. And now there seems like these conglomerates that own the bigger stations, at least. And
it's my dad had a philosophy about radio, and that is that you're a public servant. You're here to serve the public. And I think that most radio has gotten away from that. Small market radio, i.e. Cleveland, Tennessee, is more that way. I was listening to WCLE the other day, and I noticed that they really go all out to serve the public here locally, and Whoop the same way. We're very complimented to be able to come back here and do an air shift for Whoop FM. I'm looking forward to it. We'll start here very shortly. But, radio has changed considerably from the time I was a kid, and I'm sure it has with you too, Gary, for that matter. I think it's, I think small market radio is really more about the true grit of radio and what it's meant to be, which is to, as I said, serve the public. My dad's idea was be a public servant, and then it was his pleasure to entertain you, And a little wit and a little humor. Dad was, he bordered or was right on the edge of naughty, shall I say, on the air. But people seem to enjoy that.
Well, I used to be in outside sales before I retired, and I was on the.
They left you outside?
Yes, they left me outside, and a lot of my customers did.
Yeah.
But I'd go through the backwoods and the pig trails all over Tennessee, and I always like to turn my radio on to a local town and hear the local station. And you'd hear things like, "Oh, somebody broke into Martha's Hen House again last night," and let them run and wild. So
Yeah.
if you see them out there, bring them in. We got a blue tick coonhound over here for sale for $5 too. If you want to come and get it, just neat stuff that you just don't hear anymore.
I
You know, my dad called into Corky one time and said, doesn't bleed in here, that he had, we'd had a German Shepherd that had some pups, and the mother couldn't give milk. They had to have surgery on her. And so he asked if he wanted Corky to announce, did anybody have a dog that had just gave pups and would nurse, and Corky was just really confused at how he was going to say that. And I think the level of naughty has probably changed since 1960 to 2016. The naughty's, you know, used to you didn't say some of those words you didn't say damn on television.
Right.
Now, you know, that's calm on television
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then they just censor some words like really strangely. Like, I'm not going to say it on the air, but they censor some things really weirdly. Let's just
Well, you know, Dad had a contest here on WCLE, on WCLE years ago, where he was giving away gold cufflinks. And on the cufflinks were these initials, YCDBSOYA. And actually, D.S. Stewart ended up winning the contest. D.S. was, if you remember, the original owner of Hardwick. And he and Dad were very good friends. As a matter of fact, I think I was telling Ron yesterday that Dad used to take great pleasure in once every couple of years ordering 4 or 5 suits from
The cash you need to
Peacock.
Hold a second, we got some music playing.
Oh, all right. Should I have my headphones on, Ron? You tell me.
We're getting ready to turn the phone system on here now.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to call in and talk to Bill or have a question or a comment about anything.
What?
So he's a pet.
The YCDBSOYA was talking about naughty. The first part was you can't do business sitting on your, and then we changed it to, or he changed it to assets at the end. So bordering on naughty, if you will, but everyone got the point. And those were the kinds of things that went on in small market radio. And I think that they, for the most part, even in small market, you have a congestion of different signals coming into the area. So it's become so fragmented. So thank goodness for stations like Whoop FM here, where it's truly public radio and all about serving the public as best you can. You were talking about finding, my dad used to have Who's New in Pink and Blue. Call over to the hospital to find out, who was born that day. And then consequently, he had like a 40-year birthday club.
Bill, let's get this call here.
All right.
You're
Hey,
live
go ahead.
here on Old Town
Go
Cleveland.
ahead.
Hi there. Live far enough out of your district. I can't.
I'm sorry, I can't hear him over here.
Push up a little bit there. More, go
Is
ahead.
that better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. I
She turned you to it.
let you know that you are not on online. I can't get you on the air where I am. Do you know if you're going to be able to get on the internet soon?
Well, it shows that we're broadcasting online. That's all I can tell you. I have no idea, but everything here indicates we are online.
Well, this flow player just keeps, the thing just keeps going spinning, and you're not on. So
Well, sometimes you have to take and clean out all the cache in your computer and clean out the history and try that again, and it will work.
all right.
I can't promise you that because I'm not the engineer here,
Okay.
and I'm not sure we have one, so it might be the other problem.
I could be too. I know that. But I just want to let you know you wasn't on, and so I'll try this clearing this thing and see if that'll help.
Okay, thanks. Let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There's always something wrong, Bill. That's
Yeah, what are you going
I
to do?
think you mentioned you was going to be doing a show here, right?
Yes, I am actually. Am I backing up here? Here, let me do that.
Yeah, you turned her headphones up there a while ago, and she had to take off her head.
Sorry about that.
See, that's why it keeps turning. It wasn't getting louder.
Yeah, we're going to start next week. Is just Thursday and Friday next week. I have a little radio rust. I haven't been on the air in decades, so I thought I'd just try it out Thursday and Friday, say hello to everybody, and get some calls, play a little music, kind of define the format of what I intend to do, which is really along the same lines as my dad. Serve the public as best I can, and do a little entertainment, play some music, have a good time. And then on the 14th.
And the fringe of being obscene?
Pardon me?
And on the fringe of being obscene?
And on the fringe of being obscene.
Okay.
And then on the 14th, we'll kick it off full gear, Monday through Friday. I understand there's a Politico show on is it Backfire?
Backfire, yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job. They're on 7:30 to 8:30, so we're still up in the air as to whether we come in at 6:30. We're going to run 6:30 to 9:30 in the morning. But we'll take a look at Wednesday of each week and see if I come in the morning for an hour and then wait for them and then come back on an hour or just give it to them. But it's going to be my pleasure. I'm going to enjoy this.
They do a lot of yelling in that hour.
Well, no, I've lived through that before. No, I think that it'll be a lot of fun. I call it radiotherapy, mostly for me. I'm really going to enjoy this. It's been 38 years in Los Angeles of hitting the streets every day in Hollywood, and as I think I told you yesterday, Ron, at lunch. Most of my career in the entertainment business has been on the other side of the mic or behind the camera mostly. I've done promotions and so forth for a lot of TV shows, motion picture releases, etc. And I've always I worked at WKGN in Knoxville back 72, 73, something like that, in sales. And I used to walk by every morning and I would see Bob Barron or Little Bobby Rivers or one of these guys in there just enjoying the hell out of their lives by being a radio announcer. And I grew up with Dad, where we were, it's not very popular anymore, but are done in the big cities. Here is good, but a combo thing where you actually sell your show. You do your show and then you go out and sell the advertising to support your show. You can't find that in the bigger markets any longer. I had an offer at KBC in Los Angeles, but the same situation. I was either be on the air or do sales. And I like the idea of being able to do both. That way I can custom tailor the spots. I used to tell advertisers a long time ago, because I used to, even though I didn't do an air shift, I still did the commercials. And I used to tell them that, and it's true, is that normally a salesman will come down, he'll get the copy from you, he'll walk back in, write up the traffic order, hand over the copy to a copywriter. She's rushing to go to lunch. She jots out something very quickly. Disc jockey gets off the air. He has an hour's worth of production that he has to do or so. He'll rip and read and wants to get on out of the office. For me, it's about I can take the message and the inflection and the feeling that any one of the clients might have, and I think customized it to perfection, so that we get the absolute right emphasis on what the customer wants to, what the client wants to talk about. So I'm looking forward to that. It's old radio, really, but it's. I think it'll be fun, and I think most people. I hope that most people will enjoy what we're going to do because we're just going to bring it back to the way it used to be. That's all.
Well. That's really popular with me, being on Old Town Cleveland. We try to bring it back all the time. You're listening to Old Town Cleveland here on Whoop FM. We're talking with Bill Stamps. Yana, his wife, is here. We got Gary Owenby as our special guest host today, and Morgan Denny is running the board. He's our intern from Bradley High School. He's got it all figured out. And only 8 things have broke so far, but it's not been his fault.
Only 8 things. Only 8
not
things.
been his fault. It's just it happens.
Hey, Ron. 8's less than 9.
This man is learning real quick. You can call us here at 614-5553. If you're out of town, it's 423-614-5553. I know you've got a lot of friends here in town. You, as you said, you weren't here a long time.
No.
But you made an impression, and that's good or bad, I guess,
a little both, probably.
I had breakfast with a gentleman yesterday who said, who knew you. And so we want you to talk about Randy Fox for a few minutes.
Well, he's no gentleman.
I had breakfast with a person yesterday.
Well, I tell you one of my favorite stories about Randy Fox. Randy was, you remember the little kid that had the tornado running above his head in the Charlie Brown series? What was the kid's name? Pigpen. There you go.
Pigpen.
That was Randy. He was Randy's a great guy. He came out to the cabin. We're staying out at Bendabout Farm for the next 6 months, just kind of anchoring in, if you will, and beautiful out there, I might add. And we were talking about this. There used to be a lot of paddlings that went on at Arnold Junior High.
And Randy would have been involved in a lot of those.
Randy had the record, I assure you. He started off every day with a paddling. I was in Mr. Ownby's class, I think his name was, down at the end of the hall at Arnold, and sitting in a chair where I could see out the doorway. The door was cracked open a bit. And you can hear some teachers out there talking, and they're getting ready to paddle someone. And all of a sudden, whack, and you see Randy fly past the door. and then he backs up, and then whack again, and he flies across the door again. That's the way I remember Randy in those
That had to have
days.
been a sight to behold.
It was a sight to behold. They broke paddles on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really, right over his rump there. Randy was and still remains just a really sweet guy. I think the best way to wrap up Randy is that he was terribly misunderstood.
Aren't we all, though?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
And still is today.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's really truly a great guy, and as you know, he served his country in Vietnam, and I think he's very proud of that. And we're proud of him
he
for
should
having
be.
done that. Yeah.
Hey, we got a caller. Go ahead.
All right.
All right, you're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just have a question.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, Red.
You said you was going to have a show on there Thursday and Friday?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Next week, just kind of a startup, tune up, if you will, Red.
Is it going to be morning or evening?
It's going to be morning, 6:30 to 9:30 in the morning, in the awning.
He's going to do it all week long. Just next week will be just 2 days.
Oh, okay. What kind of music are you going to play?
Well, we call it Countrypolitan. It's really a selection of songs that I like, and we'll see if you guys do too. A little bit of everything, but we'll do a little Jackie Wilson. We'll do Lonely Teardrops. Bop bop. Is that going to work for you, Red?
We want country music.
All right. Well, we'll put some Countrypolitan.
And I like Cajun music.
You like what?
Cajun music.
Cajuns?
She is a Cajun. Well, she's not a Cajun. You're from Georgia. How do you like Cajun music?
I just love Cajun music.
You talking Zydeco music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what it is, when she used to drink that Shine, she heard some Cajun music on the radio, and she just felt, I love that Cajun music. I just love it.
Now, Ron, I didn't drink it. I made it.
Okay. You were smarter than the rest of us, right?
Right. I just made it and sold it. I didn't drink it.
Did you ever sell any to Bob Cash?
No, I never have seen Bob Cash.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones.
Don't start with him.
You ain't seen him.
No, I've not.
Bob's got a really good heart. Bless his heart.
He calls me every once in a while.
Oh, does he? He ain't went out on a date yet?
No, he called me one day and asked me to go rabbit hunting with him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Rabbit hunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't trust him, do you?
No,
That's good. You're a smart lady.
but he make me mad, I will.
I don't want to make you mad.
Okay. We'll keep it.
Well, Bill and me and most of us here promise we will not make you as mad as Matador makes you.
And nobody makes me mad as Matador.
Well, that's so. We promise we won't do that.
Okay, that'd be fine.
There ain't nothing worse than a redhead in heat, darling.
Hey, a redhead gets mad.
My best friend's a redhead. I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
There's only one thing bad about Red. She's a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Uh-oh.
We'll pray for her.
Yeah.
Don't start with me, Ron.
Well,
Well,
I have to
you
admit, the last time I bet with her on Georgia and Tennessee, I bought the new T-shirt.
That's the only thing that's bothering you.
It is. I'm going to get even someday.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right. See you, Red.
Thanks, Red.
Red's going to be one of your regular callers.
Yeah.
I'll assure you. She's
Yeah,
a
I
regular
can
to Loop
sense that.
Radio.
Yeah.
Now, did you know Mr. Ormby in school?
Not I don't think so, but I guarantee he's kin to.
Well, all
the
your
family,
Ormbys
'cause
are.
No matter
kin.
how we spell our name, we're all kin. Even my own flesh and blood uncles and aunts don't spell it the same way that my dad did.
Well, every time I spell it, I go, is that the way he spells it or not? I've spelled it. And, of course, my spell check don't think it am right.
You know,
Rob does it.
do you remember Fallout Shelters?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Owenby, I think he must have been science or biology. I can't remember the class, but I remember that we had a project to make fallout shelters. model ones, obviously, out of these little sugar cubes. And you used the Elmer's glue or the airplane glue, you know. And anyway, I had it all put together, and I thought it was just like, it looked like an igloo, but it was supposed to be a fallout shelter. And then you write down on the cardboard that it's pasted on, you know, what it's about. At any rate, my dad said, look, I don't have time. I'll bring it over in time for your class. Don't worry about it. So I left it on the dining room table. And he ran in there and grabbed it, and I guess on the way over, it just fell into a million different pieces. I was so glad that happened, because when I got into the class, my masterpiece all of a sudden looked like a piece of crap. I mean, everybody else's fallout shelter was beautiful. It was just gorgeous. I couldn't believe how nice these fallout shelters was. Mine was somewhere between fallout shelter and igloo, you know. So I think I got a B just by osmosis there, you know, just to give me a consolation on the. My dad, I think, did a great sales pitch on Mr. Owenby, telling him that, oh no, it was marvelous. And I saw my dad wince as he was telling Mr. Owenby that, because he too looked around and saw all these beautiful fallout shelters. Mine, you know, thank goodness it fell apart on the way over.
You know, I thought you were going to tell me, he said, well, this is what will probably happen in most fallout shelters in case of the atomic bomb. They're all going to cave in unless you build them. So
I think a few people, actually, if I'm not mistaken, built one in their backyard, you know. And then I used to always wonder, even as a kid, you know, 30 days worth of water and food and supplies, then, you know, what happens the 31st day? Does one come out? I guess you just survive for 30 days and then that's it.
I was worried that there's going to be a tree fall over the door to get out.
That would be horrible.
You know, you can buy those modular ones now, and you look at it, it's like a little ball, you know, a big ball for two people to sit in. I'm going, gosh, I wouldn't want to spend that much time with my wife. Trapped in a hole for 30 days. That is just. Who else did you go to school with? Do you remember any other?
Oh,
Randy's
gosh,
there.
Sure. Well, I was just telling Gary that Jimmy Cannon was one of my good buddies.
Yes.
Tommy Varnell, who's no longer with us, God bless him. Chris Huff, Pinky Pullen, John Stockard. As far as guys go, I mean, just tons of them. Girls, everyone I think had a crush on Michelle Phillips and Linda Lauderdale and Brenda Sharp. I'm trying to remember all the names. Donna Bigham. Johnny Ball was a buddy of mine. His brother Eddie Ball thought of himself as being one of the Fargo brothers and used to break me over his knee once a day. Just every kid that I came across. Sullivan Stewart was a friend of mine. He was a year ahead of me. Everyone here, I told Gary, probably the happiest time of my childhood was right here in Cleveland. The kids were great. I say kids now, they're all 67, 68 years old like I. Mary Mangus, Polly Calloway, Terry Morrow. I mean, you know, the list goes on. I remember all the kids, and very fondly. They were Terry Sample. There's just great kids back here.
Who's some of the teachers down at Arnold? Was Warren Brewster there?
Brewster was there. You know, I know a lot of people have said very nice things about him and Junior Pruitt. To me, they were abusers. They just beat the hell out of you. You know,
But did you learn anything from the
you know,
meetings?
I learned to keep my mouth shut in Mr. Brewster's class.
Lou Underdown.
Lou Underdown was the PE coach. He was the guy, he beat you up one side and down the other.
Right.
Yeah. I think I got one from everybody. Brewster was the worst because he literally, you know, these old hardwood chairs with the curved back, and they have these spindles. That was what he beat you with. I mean, literally. And boy, and not only that, but he would pull up on your pants and say, bend down and grab your ankles. So you do that, and then he pulled up on your pants where it was real tight, and then popped you one.
Well,
I mean, it knocked you across the hall.
You're speaking from a lot of experience, apparently.
Well, only a couple of times. It didn't take more than, you know, I was
When
kinda
you
like,
sit next to Randy is when you got into trouble, right?
I tried to stay on the other side of the room
I
from
don't
Randy.
blame you for that.
There was nothing but trouble there, let me tell you.
Randy was radioactive.
Oh, yeah. Of course, when he went on to Bradley High School, Miss Clemmer was there, which, if any of you who went to Bradley, Miss Clemmer was not notorious.
Use
but
nice words now. Ron.
notorious. Well, she'll come get me.
Well, Beth thought we got a caller here.
Go ahead, yeah.
All right, caller, you're live here on Old Town Cleveland.
Okay, this is Sylvia Coates. Used to be Lauderdale, but I just heard him naming all of my sister friends as well as my sister. So I thought I would call and say hello to him for her since she's not in Cleveland.
Hey, how are you? What's your name?
Sylvia Coates, but it used to be Lauderdale, Linda Lauderdale's sister.
Are you her older sister? Pardon me for asking it that way.
Yes.
Weren't you a tremendous basketball player?
Yes.
She's in my book in the Bradley Central Hall of Fame as well. One of the lead scorers, right, Sylvia?
Yes, I am, but I just really called because I remember your dad was at WCLE, and I loved his voice and used to listen to him all the time. And one of my friends worked with him, Warren Corbett.
Yes, yeah. You know, Warren actually later came out to Northern California and worked with my dad. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I know he almost became an astronaut as the journalist. He was one of the top 3 in the journalists at the time. They were choosing one from each profession.
Yeah, yeah.
It ended up crashing, so he was lucky, I guess. But we still stay in touch. He calls now and then, and I taught his sister over at Cleveland High. But he used to dedicate a psalm to me all the time when he was with your dad at night. It was Born to Lose.
Born to Lose, Ray Charles. Yeah, sure.
And, he was afraid to say a name, afraid your dad would fire him. So he would say, this is for you. But he was a great sports writer.
Yeah, he sure was. You know, big, tall fellow, right?
Yes, and very smart.
Very smart. I mean, and very articulate. And it seemed like he had a great voice as well, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he sure did.
He lives in Bethesda, Maryland.
Bethesda, really? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did he? I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Did he stay in radio and television?
He was on television for
Yeah.
a while. He was on that business program in the mornings. He was on TV from like 6 to 7 for years.
Mm-hmm.
He's still. I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but I'll tell him that you were on the radio.
Please do, and give him my best. I thought he was. I think he may have babysat us a couple of times. Chances are, Dad held that over his head before he got his paycheck or something. But yeah, I remember Warren very specifically. There was another guy in the afternoon, maybe on the weekends, named Cousin Bob. Do you remember Cousin Bob?
I remember the name Cousin Bob.
Yeah, he was our country music player, and then Vic Sparks was on the weekends.
Yes, Well, if he babysat you, he probably beat you up because he didn't like kids.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I do remember him, and I remember him fondly. And thanks for calling. Let me ask you this: do you have the same dimples as Linda?
Do I have the same what?
Dimples?
Oh, I don't know. She's probably prettier. I had the brains, and she had the beauty.
Well, let me tell you, if she's prettier than you, Sylvia, she's one gorgeous woman.
She was.
Well,
yeah, still is, for that matter.
I'll call her. She lives over on the Nickajack Lake.
Yeah, you know, she came out to visit me with Randy Fox at Bendabout Farm here when I first got into town, when we first got into town about a month ago. And she looks great, and you couldn't find anybody better than Linda. She was a sweetheart, and she was a pretty good basketball player herself, wasn't she? And did she run track? Maybe was she in track?
Well, she quit basketball because everybody kept asking her if she was going to be able to fill her sister's shoes.
Oh,
She probably could have been great. I mean, I hate that she quit, but I'm not sure she would have worked as hard for Coach Smitty as I did either. Because you had to really just give your life to him for a while. So,
well, you know, she ended up with a basketball great, Jerry McNabb out of McMinn. Yeah.
Right. He's 6'8", too.
I thought he was 6'9".
Well, he could be.
He's older now, so maybe he shrunk an inch.
Well, I did, of course, my midsection grew, and it sort of brought me down. Sylvia, have you told your husband how lucky he is lately?
No. No.
I hope he knows it.
He wouldn't believe you if you told him. I don't think.
Well, you know, he's one of those Yankees. It's hard to get anything through their head.
Hard head and that New York swagger, so you have to say it quick if you say something.
Tell us what your boys are doing now.
Well, Eddie is at Lake Forest, and he coaches a lot of the kid leagues now because his 2 boys, Cash and Kel, are playing basketball, baseball, and tennis and stuff now. And Tanner is a DJ still. He works for Town Force Entertainment.
Wow.
And he also is manager of that Breakout store that's done, it's a new game thing done in Chattanooga. The Breakout, have you heard of that?
No, what do you do? Break out?
Oh yeah, I had my daughter went to it.
You stay in 60 minutes, 1 hour, you get clues to get out. So it's a big thing now. So
Well, that sounds like my first marriage.
Sylvia, all the kids at Bradley, I was up there this week, and they were talking about Breakout, so they're well aware of that. Matter of fact, there's a group planning to go down there as one of their spring excursions, and they had to explain to me what it was. I'd not heard of it.
There are 3 or 4 different type of rooms that you go into. One's like a jail cell, one's like a haunted mansion, and they give you clues, and you have to figure out how to get out. And
that's right.
I'd just sit down probably and just wait.
Sit down and cry.
Yeah.
Well, John Calipari, the coach at Kentucky, was one of the starters of this game, is what I hear. So it's doing really well in Knoxville and Chattanooga, and they've opened others around too. But I'm not going to take any more of your time. I just heard you naming all the people that were my sister's friends, and I heard you say her name, so I'm calling on Linda's behalf to say hello and great job on the radio.
Well, help spread the word about Bill's new show. He'll start next Thursday and Friday, and it'll be a daily show, Monday through Friday. So make sure it's going to be 6:30, 9:30. Make sure you tune in.
Okay, I certainly will. So good luck to you guys, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Celia.
Well.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That lady could play some basketball.
She sure can.
She was one of the leading scorers in the history of Bradley, and she was one of the early. She was on the first state championship team that Smitty had when he took over at Bradley.
You know,
Is that right?
At college, she met her husband there, and he sort of laughed about a lady playing basketball and played her some one-on-one. He didn't win.
She probably smoked him.
Oh, she didn't. I think he had to marry that girl then. And
Was there some talk possibly about retiring her jersey?
It is retired.
It is
Yeah.
retired.
It is retired.
Is she the only? Maybe I'm wrong. Is she the only girl who had her jersey retired?
Oh, no, we got
there's
several now.
of them.
Oh, are there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
She had to be
Speedy's-
one of the first, though.
Speedy's
right?
process back then was if you made the All-State team
Yeah.
for 2 years, then you would qualify to have your jersey retired. And she was, like I said, back then they played 6-on-6, and she was one of the outstanding scorers.
They
as a
played
forward.
6-on-6?
Yeah.
Just women's, I think.
Yes, women's
Yes.
played
Okay.
6-on-6 then.
Got it.
And then she was one of the leading scorers, but her jersey was retired. It was not the first. Kay Bivens was the first one back.
Kay Bivens.
Kay Bivens.
That was a gal that you did not want to mess with, let me tell you. You remember the YMCA was in that little White House first, across from the National Guard Armory, right across the street from Chris Huff's house. And then they built a brand new, beautiful YMCA, the brick building down. I think it's like a retirement home now. We drove by it the other day.
it's a teen center now.
Is that what it
Oh,
is?
are you talking about the house?
The YMCA. No. The brick building. That
TLC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a teen learning center now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was. Do they still have the swimming pool there?
It's still in the building. I don't know what they've done with it.
I used to love that place. That was the hangout in Cleveland for the kids. You know, that's when kids actually went down and did things together. And I remember playing ping pong with Mrs. Gibson, Chubb and Gary Gibson's mother. Do you remember the Gibson brothers?
I don't know.
I remember them.
I remember the name Gary
Steve.
Gibson.
Steve was Chubb.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
Gary
Okay.
Gibson.
Steve Gibson, yes.
I think
Yes.
Steve might have played basketball with Steve Sloan, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
did. Yes,
Oh,
he did.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Steve
he-
Gibson
yeah,
did.
they were on
We
the-
didn't know him as Chubb. But
Yeah, he's the state. They won the state. The year.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
year.
right. Yeah,
With
that,
Steve Sloan and
61.
Yeah.
Was it 61? Yeah, that was a great team. Jerome Brumley, I think, was
Right.
on that team.
Jerome, yes.
That
we're
was-
talking about the guy who'll know now.
They won the football and the basketball that year.
That's
too.
right.
and
yeah.
baseball.
And in 61?
Yeah, they won the Triple Crown.
No, that was in 76 and won Triple Crown.
No, that 76 is just the football championship, wasn't it?
No, in 62, in 61-62 school year, they won both boys and girls basketball and football. They didn't win baseball. It's boys and girls
Kay
basketball.
Bivens walked around with her Letterman's jacket on, and she was, shall I say, a stocky gal.
Mm-hmm.
And man, oh man, I mean, us little fellas, we did not fool around with Kay. If you went one-on-one with Kay, not only was she going to outscore you, but she was going to knock you out.
She was physical.
She was very physical. I mean, and a redheaded gal at that. Right?
Yes, she was
Yep,
a redhead.
yep.
Kay actually broke the previous caller, Sylvia Lauderdale's scoring record.
Oh, is that right?
Sylvia had the scoring record of 50 points, and Kay broke with 52.
I'll be darned.
Just a couple of years after that. They played together, I guess, as they overlapped when they
I think
played.
Kay could have been a right tackle very successfully. Really. I'm not kidding you. You don't want to fool
Back
with
in
that.
those days, we could use some right tackles back then. Now, Sylvia's sons, both of them played basketball. One of them had the record for the most scoring for a long time, and then T.O. broke it, right?
Well, they didn't have the career or game scoring record, but Eddie, now he has 2 tennis state titles. As a sophomore and senior, he won the state title. He could have won it his junior year, but he was sick, I believe, and had to pass up the state tournament. But
I believe later on he played Roscoe Tanner in the match.
yes, well, he may have, but he went to Vanderbilt on tennis scholarship.
Yeah.
To your alma mater there.
At Vanderbilt, yeah. Jana's, I met Jana 20 years ago at Vanderbilt when she was wrapping up her master's, teaching classes. Can you imagine a little bit of Jana over there trying to teach classes, these great big fellas? You were speaking of Roscoe Tanner. That was the time that I did come back into town here. I was doing the Bjorn Borg retirement tour, producing the tennis events in those days, in 83, 84, maybe, something like that. And we played at UTC up here. And I came down through and came in at WCLE, had an hour on the air with Tom Rowland when he had WCLE. It was a lot of fun. You got a call there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Caller, you are live. You're on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, this is Marilyn. I'm with a bluegrass band called the Arkansas Pond Stoppers. The young man announced at the beginning the phone numbers and stuff, and the truck is at the Southeastern Farmers Co-op right now, and will be here until 12 o'clock if anybody would like to stop by and buy some fish to stock their pond.
You've got bags and everything for them to pick them up, right?
Yes.
You can put them in your bathtub you want to.
Why you would do that?
I don't know why you do that, but feed them till they got big enough, you know. Well, what kind of fish you got, Marilyn?
Well, they have catfish, and that's not my. I'm just the.
Well, they have the grass carp too, don't they?
Yeah, they have. Now that's the main thing that a lot of people are getting right now is the grass carp that keeps your pond cleaned out. They have catfish, bluegill, largemouth bass, the grass carp, and they have minnows, as he calls them.
Minnows, yeah. Shiners.
Shiners, yeah, to feed, that you can put in your lake and feed your fish. I vaguely remember hearing Bill's dad on the radio. We live so far out in the country that WBAC was the only thing we could get early in the morning when we were getting ready to go to school, but
Which way the wind was blowing.
yeah, and whether or not how cloudy it was. And but I do remember who's new and pink and blue.
Yeah, and he used to call the police department and find out who got busted the night before, and had a birthday club, I think, that he started. I think WCLE AM was like 1,000 watts, wasn't it? Probably non-directional at that. So how far out of town were you from Cleveland?
Oh, probably.
Georgie?
Yeah.
Georgie?
Was next to Georgia.
Oh.
Now, somebody had Swap and Shop. I remember Mother listening. I don't know what that was doing.
You know, I think that was this fellow Cousin Bob that I was speaking of earlier. Seemed
And
like
Tom Rowland did it later on.
Did he really?
Yeah, he continued to do it, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, those are great shows to have on the air. It's truly the general public that you're serving, and everybody has fun with it. And buy, sell, swap, or trade, we might want to think about something like that around here, Rob.
Yeah, we may just do that.
All right, sir.
Yeah. So we're really enjoying it, and Deb being there, but she'll be back.
This is Deb's sister.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we'll see,
Bye-bye.
Marilyn.
See you.
That's Deb's sister, her old sister. Older sister. Older sister.
You just left it as sister, Ron.
Yeah, she's her sister. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they look a lot, same age. Whew, got that. Maybe she's far out today and can't hear me. what were we talking about? You was talking about Roscoe Tanner?
Oh, I was just mentioning that, Roscoe, I guess, has gotten himself in some big trouble here over the past few years. But, yeah, Roscoe out of Chattanooga, and his father and his grandfather, both prominent attorneys in Chattanooga. We came in there and played in, like, 83, I think it was. We were doing the Bjorn Borg retirement tour. And Roscoe had, at that time, the fastest serve.
I remember that.
Velocity. I think it was 132 miles per hour. They far surpassed that now. But at the time, and we took Roscoe and Bjorn up to, from Chattanooga up to Norfolk, Virginia the next night. Played the Scope up there, sold it out. And I used to get out and practice around with these guys a little bit. Of course, they chunked it to me so that I could hit it back. And I said, Roscoe, why don't you just go ahead and give me your best shot? I just want to see what it feels like. My God Almighty! I mean,
you heard it come back.
It ran on past me. During the match that we played that night, he actually one of them ricocheted off and hit some gal and knocked her out in the audience.
I can believe that.
I mean, he just had a rocket serve, and yet his serve was just instead of going the big wind up and all that, he just went up to shoulder height and then pow, hit that ball. You got a call?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Caller, you are live. You're on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello, guys. This is Matt Bentley from Bendabout Farm. I wanted to call and tell Bill and Yana that we are very grateful that they're in our community, and I've enjoyed the show, what I've been able to listen to this morning, and I'm looking forward to listening to Bill's show next week and from then on. So, looking forward to it, buddy. You sound great on the radio.
Well, thank you, Matt. You're a great guy. I can't tell you how welcome we have felt. Just you have a beautiful, beautiful farm there. You work for one of the greatest guys in the country, and Matt, you are a diplomat extraordinaire. Jan and I talk about you every day about what a great guy you are, and you guys are doing a great job.
That's not what you said at lunch yesterday. But how you doing, Matt?
Yeah, he's a diplomat, Ron.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, buddy. How are you doing?
Great. He took me all over the farm one day and drove me through all those creeks, and I just hoping his truck was going to hold water.
Oh, we had a great time. Unfortunately, Bill lives behind one of those creeks, so sometimes when it floods, he has to come the long way back out to a public road. But
you know what? We enjoy that, though. There's like 60 or 70 little turkeys running around out there most of the time. Are you aware of that? I guess you are, of course.
Yeah, we've been counting them to make sure one of them doesn't end up in your pot.
Hey, Matt, when will polo be this year?
We're gonna, we missed polo last year, and we kind of overscheduled for September last year, and unfortunately we missed it. First time we missed it in my 22 years here. So, but we are definitely going to bring polo back to Bendabout this fall. It's probably going to be the second and or third weekend of September. So, put it on your calendar. We'll put something. I'll definitely tell you, Ron, so you can have a chance to put it on your Saturday morning show, and Bill, you'll know, so you can keep the listeners informed during the week.
Yep.
And we'll put it in the Cleveland Banner and Chattanooga Times Free Press.
This is a free event.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, absolutely free.
Oh.
And if you've never seen a polo match, I encourage you to go out. You get to see Bendabout Farms, and you get to see polo matches. It is extremely interesting. The first time I went, I said, I'm coming back. And I've been back ever since.
Well, Yana and I used to, when we were still out on the West Coast, used to think about what would be the most ideal of living conditions to kind of snap into Cleveland and smaller city and Bendabout Farm. I mean, we had no idea. It's just beautiful out there, Matt, and we're really enjoying our stay. And your service group, Lindsay and Angie and Dan, you just can't ask for better people. It's just really a pleasure to be living out there.
It's one of the most historical pieces of property in Bradley County and Southeast Tennessee. A lot of history came through that area. If you just go back to the Tucker Springs, of course, this is Cherokee land. What do you have? 3 creeks come together where there were Cherokee villages.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
So, and it just wonderful. And Mr. Johnson, thank him for all the conservation he's done on all that history.
And Matt looks after all that. And Matt, that's your background, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't get to do it as much as I used to. Fortunately, I have a wonderful crew, which I appreciate your kind comments about. But we've got a great management crew for the property, and then the facilities. The group that takes care of the facilities, and of course my assistant Lindsay. I mean, we couldn't function without them. And
she's a sweetheart.
And they're all local people. I mean, I'm the only guy from the outside, and it took me a little while, but we have a great group of people. They're all homegrown. They're loved in this community. They love this community. Their kids go to our public schools, and they're very involved. And I can't say enough about the crew here at the farm. But yes, that is my background. It seems like the more I have worked for the Johnston family and this farm and worked with this area, I've been involved in them quite a bit more off the farm, but still represent the family. And I enjoy that too. It's a lot of fun.
Not only that, but you cherry-picked one of the most beautiful women in all of Bradley County, Michelle.
She sure is. Sweetheart, and just as beautiful on the inside. Thank you, Bill. I'll make sure she knows you said that on the air.
Well, we're still waiting for our dinner. We're going to have here sometime soon.
Get the girls together.
Yeah.
Is as gorgeous as Michelle. I think you really like that, buddy. So it's great to have good friends that are as fortunate as I am, like you are. So, we'll look forward to dinner one night soon.
All right, Matt.
Hey, Matt, if you're buying, Deb and I'll be glad to come along also.
Ron, you know what, buddy? You're way overmounted.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for all you do, too, and everything. And, Bill's going to be doing the morning show here on Whoop from 6:30 to 9:30, Monday through Friday. Yep. And you need to let everybody know to tune in and hear Bill.
We are. I've already told my crew. We've already set all of our vehicles and our tractors and our... and I know that I heard you announce a little while ago you won't start, Bill, you won't start till next Thursday.
Right.
But after next Thursday, you'll be Monday through Friday. So
right.
Y'all tune in and listen to Bill. You can tell he's got that sexy radio voice.
Yeah, baby.
So I'm looking forward to hearing it. And you're always posting some very interesting things on social media, Bill. I think you'll be very entertaining. I know that your audience will enjoy having you. Like I told you the other day, it's like their morning cup of coffee. You can see something that everybody's looking forward to waking up and tuning into.
Well,
Matt,
thanks, Matt. Very nice.
Matt, we told him that, told Bill yesterday, I had lunch with him, and I told him that you had came in and did a show about the birds and the bees.
Yeah. Thank goodness nobody saw me. I was blushing half the time.
Goodness.
About the birds and the bees, what little bit I know. Ron and Debbie taught me a lot.
I had to explain to Bill what that show was about, but we're not going to tell the public.
Yeah.
We love y'all. I'm going to let you go, but enjoy the show.
Right.
Thank you, Matt.
Take care of yourself.
Bye. I'm telling you, this fellow is first class.
He is a
across the
great
board.
guy. Yes.
We were impressed with him on the telephone before we got back here. He made every accommodation for us, like immediately. A lovely little cabin that we're in. Big fireplace goes all the way up to the roof. We've got our two dogs. We have Cowboy and Scout, Australian Shepherds. Perfect for them. They love the place. And Yana and the pups take a walk down there's like 60 miles of road on Bendabout Farm. Is that amazing?
It's huge.
And it's beautiful. There's a couple of cabins besides ourselves on the property close by. Beautiful ponds, like I said, turkeys running around out there. It's just, it's countryside. 3-4 minutes out of town, out of the city limits. It's just fantastic.
It's a great farm, and like I say, Matt Billy's great. Hey, it's top of the hour, a little past the top of the hour. We're going to do our mid-morning break. Yeah. So in case anyone needs to go to the facility, now's the time.
Oh, great.
Or at least we can talk about Matt now off the air.
Yeah.
Go ahead and click go. We'll be back here in a few minutes. We always play a song called Gone Home. We dedicate that to all the people and your family members who may have passed this week, and it's just in honor of them.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. Whoop FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
No dealers allowed. Jackson Catnapper, family owned and operated in Cleveland since 1933, offering the best with over 70 styles of recliners, sofas, electronic lift chairs, full living room packages. Call Mike now at 961-7239 because Jackson Catnapper now offers sales to the public
every Saturday. That's right, every Saturday.
From 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Or call Mike at 961-7239 or go see him
every Saturday
at 1911 King Edward Avenue, just across from the main plant. Jackson Catnapper, family owned and operated in Cleveland since 1933. 961-7239.
No dealers allowed.
Check into cash. Need a little extra cash right away? Who doesn't? Turn your car into cash at Check into Cash.
Get up to $4,000 with your car title only from Check into Cash. You get more cash with a Check into Cash title line of credit.
Turn your car into cash today at Check into Cash. Visit checkintocash.com for the store near you.
$4,000 title line of credit maximum based on value of vehicle and ability to repay. Subject to credit approval. See store for details.
After 135 years, Hardwick Clothes, America's oldest since 1880, has delivered on our commitment to produce the finest navy blazer in America. This limited edition blazer was announced as the style winner in Garden & Guns Made in the South Awards. Crafted in Cleveland, Tennessee, we use premium Italian wool from the Tale Barbaris, custom Bimberg lining, and signature gold buttons. It's available through the finest men's stores or at hardwick.com.
All of my friends that I loved yesterday have gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. The songbirds are singing. The dells seem to say gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Life here is lonely since they've gone before. Gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. The old weeping willow that stands by the door sadly sighs. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Where the old town goes.
Welcome back to Old Town Cleveland here on Whoop FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.whoopfm.com. You can call us here at 614-5553. We have Bill Stamps and his beautiful wife, Yana, here today. They're talking about Bill growing up here in Cleveland, his dad, talking about coming on doing a new radio show. We're going to talk about what he's done after he left Cleveland. I'm going to ask him about the swim team, though. He was on the YMCA swim team. We got Gary Owenby as our special guest host here today, since Deb's at Yana. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
You may notice that she has a South Georgia accent.
Just a little bit.
No, tell us where you're from originally.
Well, I grew up in Switzerland. Kind of a combination. I was born in London. My mom's Australian. My dad's from the Czech Republic. And I came to the States when I was about 16. Went to college at William and Mary in Virginia, and then later on grad school at Vanderbilt. And after that, I met my love, and that's it.
So, since you've been to Vanderbilt, do you know the difference between y'all and all y'all?
I know as of this morning.
Okay, tell us what it is.
Yeah, all y'all is all of
Everybody.
You guys. Everybody.
Yeah, and y'all is just you. We also have Morgan Denny in here. He's our Bradley High School intern here. He's running the board today, so if things are not working out there in Radio Land, it's Morgan's fault today.
Blame it on me. We've already had like 8 problems.
Yeah, I think we got a call.
Oh, we do? All right. Caller, you're live. You're on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, this is Bob Cash.
Hey, Bob Cash, how are you?
Hey, look here, I got tuned in a little bit late, but I'm enjoying your program here with Bill, and I'm glad to hear he's going to start coming on in the mornings. That's great, Bill. That is great, Daddy.
Well, thank you. I'm really going to enjoy it, too. I tell you, it's been a long time coming. We've thought about this for years and years, and at 67 years of age, I mean, who are we kidding? We're not middle age, otherwise I live to be 134, so I might as well go ahead and give it a shot.
I'm with you, yes. Well, listen, what I was wondering, Ron here the other day, I called Red, my little buddy,
Yes.
And it was real cold outside, and I said, Red, look here, I'm getting ready to come up there and get you. Me and you going rabbit hunting. She said, what? I said, yeah. Said, I don't like rabbits. I said, oh, well, forget that. We'll go out to VFW getting loop-legged. But no, that Red is a little nice. She called in this morning.
She's already called and said that you'd offer to take her rabbit hunting, and she wouldn't go with you.
Oh, she remembered that. Oh, yeah, she wouldn't go out.
Yeah, she was sober, Bill. I mean, Bob.
Maybe she likes squirrels. I don't know.
That's right. You just have to keep working till you find the right combination.
Right. Hey, listen, Ron, I've got a couple of little jokes you can tell the children here if you got just a minute.
Go right ahead.
Real short. Do you know what a corn of cob calls his daddy?
No.
Popcorn.
All right.
And then the last one. Do you know what you get if you run over an ear of corn in the road?
No.
I forgot. Oh, what is cream corn.
Cream corn.
Now write that down. Remember.
No, you need to write them down.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, don't quit your day job, okay?
Yes, sir. Well, listen, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of your show, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, take care, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
I got to tell a quick story on Bob there. That's Bob Cash. He decided he wanted to go learn to skydive. Every guy out of the Army, he said he always wanted to skydive. So he hired this guy the jump master only had one leg. He'd lost his leg in a parachute contest. This is true. This is absolutely true.
What?
He'd lost his leg in a parachute accident, but so Bob hired him to teach him how. So Bob jumps out of an airplane. He's jumped out 3 times now, and it's not hit the ground yet. I'm serious. The first time he hit a tree out here off 64.
Oh, my goodness.
And he banged up against a tree. and we had just created the Bradley County Ambulance Service, and he is in the history books of being the first patient. Next time he landed on a car, next time he landed on a building, and that was his history. I says, maybe it was your jump master was the first mistake.
Did he ever ask him why he only had one leg?
Morgan, read some of the announcements again there real quick.
All right. Sorry. Parachute thing caught me. All right, so Hardwick Warehouse is going to be having a sale from 9 to 1 today, and there's also the 22nd annual Cousin Jake Memorial Bluegrass Festival, that's a mouthful, is being held today in Etowah, Tennessee in the historic Gem Theater. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the picking starts at noon. Featured bands include Just Us, Valley Grass Express, Hamilton County Ramblers, and the Dismembered Tennesseans. Hours of music only for $18 per person. And there will be a free lecture on the Tellico
archaeological.
Archaeological. You know, I couldn't.
That's the only big word I know, though.
Yeah. That project from
what?
That's good
from
enough.
1967.
I'm sorry, what?
From 1967 to 1982 by Dr. Jeff Chapman tomorrow, March 6th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Sequoia Birthplace Museum in Loudon, Tennessee. The date has been announced for the second annual Etowah Moonshine Festival from June 10th to the 11th. The festival was a great success last year. And get ready for daylight savings time. We're going to be losing an hour of sleep next Saturday because the clock will be moving forward 1 hour. That's not fun. And then also, Fish Day for the Arkansas Pond Stalkers. You can call them at 1-870-578-9773. That is 1-870-578-9773. Or T-Bandy at 478-2405. And basically you can get fish for your pond and whatnot today.
Or your bathtub.
Or your bathtub.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason you would want that's beyond me. Today from 11 to 12 noon. And it will be at the Southeastern Farmers Co-op. I don't know.
Co-op.
Well, cooperation, I figured. But
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
All right. And I think we got a call over there.
Yep. Caller, you are live here on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello.
Howdy.
Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Morgan, the intern.
Hey, Morgan. Is
Howdy.
Bill Stamps on there with you today?
Yes, I sure am. Who's this?
This got to be Bubba.
What's going on?
Bubba Cry.
Hey, Bubba, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
You know, I heard that you were down a little bit here a while back. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing pretty good. I've been able to work ever since the end of February, of last year, so I feel pretty doggone good.
Good.
How you been doing, Bill?
Fair to middling. I'm doing great, actually, Bubba. It's so good to talk to you. You know, you and I spoke, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe?
I was out at Randy's, and I think you called in, and I talked to you.
Yeah, as a matter, well, I was going to say we had a conversation, but you're correct in saying you talked to me. I said, Bubba, how are you? And you took it from there, as I recall.
Yeah, we got another 30 minutes here, Bubba. Go ahead, take time.
I can see already you've been talking to Randy.
Yeah.
He told me one day up there at Hardee's, because I'd been talking to people, he says he's got enough teeth for 7 mouths. So anyway, how you been doing? You back in Cleveland?
I am, Bubba. Where are you?
Oh, I live in Charlotte.
Oh, you do? Okay, so you're calling in from Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got back here, just a little over a month ago, and really, really loving it. It's, I was telling everyone here that it's the happiest time of my childhood. My memories are very fond of Cleveland, and you're one of those guys. You know, I forgot to mention Bubba's name this morning. When you asked me, put me on the spot and asked me all the kids that I knew. Bubba was one of my favorites. He was a great guy. It seemed like Bubba managed every team there was at Arnold, and probably at Bradley, too, for that matter. I don't know. I wasn't around for Bradley, but
It was for betting purposes.
betting purposes. You can't find a more affable fella than Bubba Cry. Just
He
really
was also the
nice.
basketball coach at McDonald Elementary.
Was he?
Yeah, they closed that school.
Oh, gosh. Well, I was just, I can't pick up the show. And I don't know why, but nevertheless, I was trying to fool with it, trying to pick it up. So I don't know what you've been talking about, but I wanted to, Bill, who did you have in the homeroom in the 7th grade there at Arnold?
Remember?
Boy, you know,
Joe Wanby?
I think it was. What'd you say his first name was? Joe?
Joe Wanby?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you were in you were in Randy's homeroom class. Yeah.
Oh, was I?
I think, you know, you may remember back then they ranked you, I guess, according to your smarts.
Yeah.
I was in 7-9. I was in Shorty Jordan's class, which was on that new section of Arnold School.
Right.
And as I remember, the first, after you passed the gym door, on the left was Jordan, then the next was Mrs. Eads, and then the next one was Mr. Ormby's, and then down at the end, I think, was Mrs. Copeland at the time. But I didn't remember for sure if you were in that section or not for homeroom, but I thought you were in Randy's homeroom class.
Yeah, well, you know, I was there 7th and 8th grade. Mrs. Eads, I remember, was she science?
She was. As one, all of them had homeroom science class. That was your first class.
Right.
And I had Mr. Jordan. Then y'all stayed with the same 7th grade, but I had some teachers that taught both. They had 7th grade class one time, then they might have an 8th grade, whatever. Like I say, I was in 7-9. That was the bottom of the barrel.
Well, I remember, we also, I think my 8th grade, I had, was it Mrs. Emmons? Does that sound right?
Okay. Yeah, you was up on the second floor. She was the art teacher.
Right.
Of the art part, and I had Mrs. Eads for homeroom class. So, but I was just thinking, when did you leave? You left after the 9th grade?
After the 8th grade, actually.
After the 8th, okay.
Yeah, we headed off to Oregon for a year, and then Dad bought his first station in Northern California the following school year. And I wrapped up 10th, 11th, and 12th grade in a place called Crescent City, California, a little bitty place.
Crescent City's up there where all the El Niños come in, isn't that right?
Actually, you know, we had a tidal wave. They call it tsunami now, but we had a tidal wave in '64, March of '64, actually. And I ended up, Dad was the EBS, Emergency Broadcast Station. And about midnight, Dad and I went down to the radio station. There were 4 waves that came in. The first one pretty much wiped out all of downtown. Almost 200 buildings were destroyed that evening. It was a national disaster. It was as a result of reverberations of an earthquake that happened in Alaska.
Well, now, where did you live in Oregon?
I was in Medford, Oregon, but we were just there for a year. And then, as I said, Dad bought a little bitty radio station. He ended up buying a couple of 3 more. But, in Crescent City, California, and the tidal wave came. I was floating around on a refrigerator for a while there. It was scary as it could be. But I used to think about you, Bubba. I used to think about, I wonder what Bubba Cry's doing.
Well, I worked, I was there at McDonald's for a couple of years, then I worked for Hardwick Stove Company till they sold out to Maytag, and then I worked for Brown for about 25 and a half years. I've been selling furniture ever since, and since '06. But I was going to tell you, I stayed in, I think that's where we stayed. Crescent City's right at the very top of California.
It's 23 miles from the Oregon border, right in the heart of the Redwood Empire.
Yeah, we stayed there and went up because 101 goes through there, and we went up the coast to the lot.
Here we go. Bubba's going to tell us the routes that he's taken. This is what he did to me last we spoke. He will tell you every back road he's ever driven in his entire life.
Hey, let me tell you how small the world is, Bill, because you remember him, and he too came to Cleveland in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out at Beaufort, North Carolina, calling on the dealer and talking to the lady that ran the little office there for that furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
And the front door bell rings, and somebody walks down, and this lady says, "Hello, John." And I turned around and I said, "Pinky Pullen."
Pinky Pullen, John Pullen. Yeah.
He you know, Pinky's face would always get red if he got embarrassed.
Yeah, and as a result, his braces would tinsel a bit.
But he said, he looked at me and he says, they don't know me out here like that, you know. But anyway, renewed the friendship. He lived in, I think, in New Bern at the time. But anyway, he moved to Raleigh, and he came into one of the reunions one time. And back a few years back, Randy could tell you exactly what year. But anyway, it was a small world, Bill. So, but listen, I know you got a lot of people calling in wanting to speak to you, but I just wanted to say hello and good to see your face on Facebook.
Well, thank you, Bubba. You know, you never write to me on Facebook. What's the deal?
Well, you know, I am not very good. Like I say, I can't even pull up the show anymore. I don't know what Ron's done to it, but I think he has a captive audience.
Well, what it is, Morgan, our intern's here today, and he's one messed it up.
Yeah, 8 problems already. But hey, 8's less than 9.
I haven't been able to pick it up in quite a while, but it's good to hear from you, Bill, and hope to see you at the reunion.
You know, we're going to try very hard. I think that's in September. Elaine Murphy Donahoe is after me every day on Facebook about fill in the form and send it in, and I guess we'll get around to it. But yeah, our plan is to be here for that if we're not overseas. Jana's mom and father are still living in Switzerland, and we usually go over there about that time. But yeah, we're going to make every effort to be there, and I'd love to see you again, Bubba. It's been, 55 years.
Tell him to call in on your show when it starts, because he would not be aware of that.
Yeah, Bubba, you know, I'm getting ready to do a show. If you haven't been able to pick us up, I'm going to be doing a show. It's called The Morning Stampede, and it starts on March 14th here on Whoop FM, 6:30 to 9:30, Monday through Friday. So I'd love to have you give us a call, and when we need to eat up a half an hour, I'll ask you what you've been doing.
That's right. Well, the pay's real good according to Ron. I mean, that's just what he comments.
I got an extra 0 this year.
Our tax bracket.
Hey, good to talk to you, Bill, and Ron and Debbie. Best to you, okay?
All right, thanks. Bubba. Nice talking with you,
We'll see,
Bubba.
Bubba.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you, Bubba.
We're talking to Bill Stamps and his lovely wife, Jana, here today. We're talking about Bill's family. Grew up here a little bit and moved out, and talked about some rate. We got another call here. Jerry, I'm going to ask you about basketball here in a second.
All right. Caller, you are live on Old Town Cleveland.
I understand you have my buddy Bill Stamps on there today.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright, we sure do.
Hey, Eddie, how are you?
Well, that voice, I'm telling you, it's a magnificent radio voice.
Very kind of you.
It would be a crime for you to do anything else.
You know, Eddie Cartwright, I think, is just pound for pound one of the greatest guys going in Cleveland, Tennessee. This guy has such a history about himself.
Pound for pound?
Pound for pound.
Tell us.
He's lost like 35, 40. No, you just lost 40 pounds, right, Eddie?
As of today, 42 pounds.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Really.
Looking good, Gary.
You've got to have some story you can tell us about Eddie. Bill.
You know,
the only story that I would even attempt to talk about is that great book that Mr. Owenby has come out with. I bought one of the first books that I could get my hands on, and the reason I bought it is my brother played on the last team that Coach Lovell coached at Bradley in 37-38 school year.
38, yeah.
And he passed away 3 or 4 years ago at age 95, and I sent a copy of that book to his son, who was, so grateful to get that. He had no idea that anything was being written, about Bradley High School basketball, but it's really a good book. The first night I got that book, I think I got in bed about 3 o'clock that morning.
I think you come in and did our show the next morning. You was asleep all morning.
That's correct.
Well, thanks, Eddie, for those kind words. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm looking forward to what did Bill say he's going to call his show?
It's the Morning Stampede.
Morning Stampede.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
That's a little different from Biscuits with Bill, but
yep.
His dad had he certainly inherited his dad's voice, because his dad had that great radio voice, and I'm looking forward to hearing those shows. I go most mornings to the Liars Table, and I listen to Whoop on the way over and all that, and so I'll get to hear a little of his BS.
Well, I hear that you're chairman of the board of the Liars Table, Eddie. I don't think there can be any bigger honor bestowed upon anyone than to be the man in charge of the Liars Table. You know, Eddie and I went and had lunch here a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's the first time we actually ever met, Eddie, other than I might have bumped into you when I was a little kid, but you have quite a background around here. A lot of people just love you.
Well, those are kind words, but everybody didn't love me. You know how that goes. But I remember the Muncie twins.
Yeah.
I remember
Raymond and Tommy, and they didn't look a bit alike.
That's right. One of them was tall and slim, and one was short and stocky.
Yep.
But, of course, Arthur and Randy Fox.
And they didn't look alike either.
No. Steve Sloan and little Billy Stamps.
Yeah, little bitty.
And all those guys, that White House where the YMCA was, I was physical director there. I guess when Billy Stamps was about a 7th grader, I'm not sure.
You're absolutely right, yeah.
They opened up the place every day and closed it at night usually.
Yep.
It was a fun time.
It sure was. You know, those were, most recently, Yana had never, of all things, seen the movie To Kill a Mockingbird. And we watched that out on the West Coast here a couple of years ago, and I was saying, that's Cleveland, Tennessee, right there. I mean, it really is Harper Lee's interpretation of the South in those days. That's the way Cleveland was. Everybody got along back here. One of the reasons I picked this place, Eddie, was that this was really one of the happiest times of my childhood right here in Cleveland. When we got here, everyone accepted us immediately. They were very kind to us. You didn't have a lot of roughnecks going on in those days. You know, that's where I learned yes sir and no sir and please and thank you. And you don't dare walk down the street without saying hello to someone. And I find that same protocol to be in effect now in Cleveland. It's just it's a time warp. It's a vacuum, really. Cleveland, admittedly, obviously has grown geographically, but I think the kind hearts of Bradley County are still here.
It's a wonderful place to live. It has been a wonderful place to grow up, raise my family, and make a living. It's a great place, no question about it.
It sure is.
Now,
well, hey, I'm enjoying the show. And
hey, Eddie, before you leave real quick, you actually ran a clothing store right here in the Village Green today, right next door to where we are.
Next door to the building you're in.
Do you remember a fellow named Gurney Maddox with Parks Belt?
Yes.
Yeah, little Gurney. Years later, he was over in Columbia, Tennessee, with Parks Belk. I ran into him after I got out of the Marine Corps. I came back and worked for a little bitty radio station in Columbia, and Gurney Maddox was the general manager of Parks Belk department store there.
Small world.
Small world. Eddie, I'm looking forward to catching back up with you, and we'll pick up our conversation from where we left off last.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie.
See you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks.
You're right, Eddie.
Gary, real quick there, tell us about your book, where we can get it at.
The book right now, you can still get some at Mike Smith's office in the trustee's office there in the courthouse. We have some at Bradley Central there in the bookstore, and I have a few with me. We're down to less than probably 25 or 30 of those right now, and we're looking to make another run, another issue of those probably this fall.
And the book is only $20 for 400 pages. That's tremendous, being able to keep a 400-page book down to $20, even a paperback book.
Yes, and it was, and I thank Mike Burnett and the folks out at Pathway Press for helping us there. They're very community-oriented and helped us get that book out.
And all the money goes to the Bradley House.
To the basketball program. And I'm working on a football book now. I'm glad you mentioned that, too, because if you have football pictures, I know you do, Ron.
Yes.
Please contact me or Ron or someone here and let us know, because I'm working on a football book, and any picture that we use will be scanned and given right back to you. Will not be kept by me at all. And you
Mine
get them
are
back.
already scanned on a disc.
Great.
About 400 of them.
And if they can get them to me in a electronic format, that'll be great too. So.
Right.
So we got another caller here. Caller, you are live here on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, this is RD.
Hey, RD, how you doing, sir?
Doing well here. So, I know nothing about old Bradley County basketball, but I'm an old radio man, ham guy, and love radio. But welcome back, from what I understand.
Thank you, RD.
But one thing you said, I want to clarify this. You said you were in the Culver City tsunami in '64?
No. Crescent City. Yeah, in '64. Yeah.
Boy, that was a direct result of the Anchorage earthquake.
It was, in fact, yeah. There were 4 waves that came in a little after midnight. As I was saying, my dad had a radio station. It was their emergency broadcast station. We went up there and flipped back. We were one of those daytimers. And we flipped back on the mic. My dad said, the last words that Dad had to say when the second wave came in was, I don't know how long we'll be on the air, and then we were off. We were in a 2-story building that my dad owned, and the first 10 stairs were gone. I ended up, we ran out. There was a fellow, a friend of mine whose father owned Bob Ames Company, 2nd and L in Crescent City, a General Electric store, and they were down there trying to clean things up in between the waves. And I went down to help out, and the third wave came in, which they say was the most powerful, and blew us all through the back wall, and I ended up floating around on a refrigerator and grabbed a hold of an awning at Glenn's Bakery and pulled myself up out of the water. Scary times. Watched telephone poles run right through station wagons. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it tore the whole town apart.
That's just fascinating, to me. And the reason I'm asking this is I went down to Gulfport, Mississippi after Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for the phone company.
Mm-hmm.
Went down with recovery efforts.
Mm-hmm.
And I have told people ever since then, if you're in a flood, grab a hold of a refrigerator. And people think I'm insane.
No. They float, and it's... And not only that, but that's what I did. I was floating around on a refrigerator and literally watched this telephone pole go through a car.
Wow.
Scared me to death.
Now, that's right on top of it. Do not open it and get inside.
Right. It's dangerous to be inside.
I'm telling you, when I was down there in Gulfport, Biloxi area, there were thousands of refrigerators, and they were everywhere. They were in the trees, they were on the roads.
Yep.
And I'm like, good heavens, that's the ticket, man. You're in a major flood, grab a refrigerator, because apparently they float better than boats, because the boats down there didn't seem to do so good.
That's in fact the truth. Yeah, you're right about that.
RD, when we had the big flood on the Ocoee River there in Copper Hill, the Channel 9 News had a picture of the river running down through the middle of town, and here come a freezer floating right down the middle of the river. So apparently freezers or air conditioners, refrigerators are the way to go.
Well, they're airtight,
Yeah, airtight, yeah.
Yeah, I would go through spots where they'd bulldoze the roads. There was just, a quarter mile of refrigerators.
Yeah.
Probably have a little food on them, too.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business. I need to be a refrigerator salesman.
There you go.
Major market here.
Yeah, have a store on the coast somewhere.
So this keeps your food good and cold and floats.
Plus, you got your snack while you're floating.
That's right.
Well, listen, that's just fascinating to speak to somebody actually in an event like that.
RD, make sure you listen to his morning show. It'll start next Thursday and Friday, and then he'll be on 6:30, 9:30 Monday through Friday.
Well, I will. I'm in an old company vehicle right now that doesn't even have a working radio, but my partner's retiring here in a couple weeks, and wish him the best of luck. And I'm inheriting his van, so I actually get to not drive around thinking spending too much time alone in my head anymore.
RD told me one of my favorite stories. We've been doing this 7 years now here on Whoop, and he told me one of my favorite stories about his, was it your nephew?
Yeah, my little nephew in the Beats. I actually spoke with him because my father's sister passed away a few years
Oh, I'm sorry.
a couple weeks ago, and so spoke with the family there and everything, and so. But Pop ain't been doing too good. We've just been bombarded with family problems here the past.
Sorry to hear that.
Year, the bottom is falling out of the bucket, So, but we're dealing with that as best we can. But
So what's the RD stand for?
it's my name.
RD.
But people probably know my voice. Russ Donegan. I work for the phone company. Right?
Russ Donegan. Okay, Russ. Well, we'll remember you. Please feel free to call back in when we
Hey,
get.
you got a great radio voice. I'm telling you, I was an old WLS on a Chicago fan. I mean,
Oh yeah, Rick Biondini and Larry Lujak.
Oh, John Record, Linedecker. I had a
Gary Gears.
ham company, Morse code, and I got a ham license at a young age. And but I remember I had a really nice radio, and I used to go string wire across my grandmother's field and tack it to a telephone pole and sit up all night and people all over the world, you know. And but I've always loved the radio format. You know, nothing I love better than to me baseball is made for radio.
Yep, you're right.
Nothing
Right.
better than putting a ball game on and sitting out doing yard work and
Yep.
but you got an excellent radio voice.
Well, I'll tell you, I always tell people, all my siblings, we all picked up something from Dad. I picked up baritone and bald.
Yeah, that happens, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, good talking to you, and great story about the survival there. You know, I was in a flash flood with my son here about 18 years ago. We had a 3-foot wall of water came through a campsite. And just by grace of God, we chose a site to pitch the tent about 4 feet higher than where we normally camp. And if we'd have been where we normally camped, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Well, not only that, but, most people don't realize that the surge coming in, those waves aren't that high, really, but when it comes back out, when it goes back out, that's where all the destruction really happens. It just sucks everything right back into the bay.
Yeah, the power of water is absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, it's definitely, I don't want to do that again. It was so much fun. I never want to do it again. I'm sure you
No, I never want to go through that again.
take care. Say hi to Debbie, and I hope Debbie's doing well.
She's doing well. She's over in Middle Tennessee today.
Very good.
All right.
See y'all now.
Hey, RD, thanks for calling.
No problem. Nice talking to you, sir.
You too.
Have a good day.
Real quick, RD's nephew there liked pickle beets and had taken a whole jar of them back to his bedroom, and he ate the entire thing. We got another call? Go ahead there.
Yeah, caller, you're live. You're on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello, caller.
Hello. You're live.
Hang up. We'll try again. Call back. Real quick, he had ate them all, and when he went to the restroom, young men forget to flush sometime, and it looked like he was bleeding. So they took him to the hospital. Ran all kind of tests on him, and finally, like the next day, he admitted that they went and found the beets jar under the bed. They come back and said, "Did you?" Yeah. I thought that was the funniest story in the world because I used to eat a lot of beets too, But Jerry, football. Did we finish that? The football book.
Yes.
Probably a 2-year process.
No. Won't be that long. I've already got part of it done. And
You figured out how to do the first one, right?
Well, there's 5,000 basketball games to cover. There's only 1,000 football and only
Oh.
one team.
Right.
So it'll be a
okay.
lot. And I know the process now, so that'll be a little bit easier. Remind folks tonight at 7 o'clock at Bradley Central, we'll have the Barretts playing in their game against Stewart's Creek for the sub-state and the right to go to the state next week. And then the boys of Walker Valley play at home Monday at 7 o'clock. And Bradley boys will be on the road at 8 o'clock to Blackman High School Monday. We'll have that coverage on Mix tonight and also Monday, and then on the Buzz on the Walker Valley game.
All right, we got a caller real quick. Caller, you were live here on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, just like to call and say hello to Bill and Yana.
Hey, Randy Fox, I recognize that voice anywhere.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good, Randy. Are you holding court down there at Hardee's, are you?
No, I'm at home.
Oh, you're at home. What are you doing?
Absolutely, just listening to you on the radio.
All right. Well, it's better than nothing.
Did your wife go fishing this morning?
Hey.
Randy. Did we just lose him?
I don't know. Hopefully.
We lost him there. Turn out we'll get maybe Randy calls back there. His wife loves to go fishing.
Yeah, Betty?
Yeah, she loves to go fishing and everything. And, of course, we could do a show about Randy Fox stories.
Oh, I know. Believe me. There he is. He's back on.
Try him again there.
All right.
Are you back, Randy?
No, this is not Randy.
Go ahead.
No.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Ron?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm okay, but
Might want to turn that radio down a little bit in the background there.
Yeah, we're hearing ourselves.
I just wanted to tell you that I'm liking what I'm hearing this morning.
Well, you'll have to call him on next Thursday morning. Call him and say hello to him.
Well, I certainly will. You better bet. But I mean, I have really enjoyed this guy. I don't know him. But I will Thursday morning. It'll be on. And you know what I thought about the other one that was on the radio, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Well, you know why you like him, don't you?
No.
You like them younger men.
No, you better back off on that. I'm not interested in no man.
Now, when you drink Jack Daniels, you get real interested.
You sorry thing.
Wow. That's the best thing she's ever said about me.
You know what? You asked me that morning about it, and I told you that I got a foreign started. No, I've never had a drink in my life.
Well, it's about time to start.
No, I'm too old for that.
Well, you don't know what you've been missing.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. We always appreciate you.
I wanted to tell you that I have certainly enjoyed this, and I like the way the man speaks.
Well, you're a sweet lady. Sweet lady.
I like what he brings out of his mouth. I don't like that filthy language, and you know it.
Yeah, that's right. He's very straight-laced here on us.
Yes.
That's me, straight-laced.
Now, he said he may lean on it a little bit, but he ain't going to cross the line.
No, I won't cross the line. I promise you, darling, I will not cross the line.
But I have really enjoyed it, and I'm looking for Thursday.
All right, me too.
Right.
Well, we have a date.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Ron.
All right, stay off the Jack Daniels.
Bye.
Bye.
She's going to come with me one of these days. And I don't know. She always calls in, and now her favorite song is "Swangin'."
Swangin'.
By John Anderson.
Yep.
Just a swangin'.
Swangin'.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Gary, 7 o'clock tonight. Barrett's playing Stewart Creek,
Yes, it's a team from Smyrna.
and this is the sub-state.
Substates, the winner has the right to go Wednesday to play in the state tournament. It starts for AAA on Wednesday.
All right.
If you lose, your season's over. It's been a great year. The Barretts are 30-3. And
Wow.
then the boys will play Monday on the road at Blackman, who's number 1 in the state, unbeaten at 32-0.
And they start next weekend.
The boys start the following week. The girls'
Right.
tournament starts Wednesday, and the boys
Right.
starts next Wednesday.
Right.
And Bradley took down White County, who was number 2 in the state this past Tuesday. They were 29-0. We went on the road and beat them Tuesday, so we got a big challenge again come Monday. And Walker Valley will be home with Lawrence County Monday at 7 o'clock as well.
All right, caller, you were live here on Old Town Cleveland.
All right, I'm going to try to talk to Bill again if y'all don't cut me off.
Well, that's huge.
Hey, don't go. You know what, Randy? Nothing's changed in all the 55 years, and you're blaming somebody else because you don't know how to operate a telephone.
Oh.
Bill, you hit the button and cut me off. You say that tell something on you.
Almost anything you say would be telling it on me.
Randy, he's been talking about you all day, so it's your turn.
Well, let me tell you about the time we was up at Bradley High School. I told Ron about this yesterday. We was up there hiding behind some bushes on the Halloween throwing exit cards and they come by. So Bill ran her back and throws that egg on the next car to come by, and it was the police. And Bill just stood there like a deer looking in the head, running. So Bill got to go to jail that night. We didn't.
Yeah, it was. But you were the influence behind that, Randy. I had never thrown an egg at a car in my life until you suggested this would be great fun to do.
Well,
And it was.
and Randy was experiencing you to run.
Yeah. So, no, Randy, you told me that story a long time ago. I don't remember that, really. But, of course, one of those things I try to forget anyway. But I threw an egg and hit a cop car? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, you sure did.
Who was with us? Do you recall? Just you and I or somebody?
No, there was about 3 of us. I don't remember now who the other guy was.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing that I ever did wrong in my entire time I lived in Cleveland as a kid.
Yeah, now don't let Bill kid you, Ron. He got his eyes busted just as much as I did.
Well, he said it back in those days. It really took a village to raise all of you, and everybody was your mama back in those days.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Randy lived right next door to Reverend Billingsley. Remember Reverend Billingsley?
No, I don't know that.
Reverend Billingsley was this fellow. I swear to goodness, he looked like Jed Clampett on Beverly Hillbillies, didn't he, Randy?
Yeah.
And he mowed lawns, I guess, for a living, but his real passion is preaching the word of the Lord. And he would do that right in the middle of the street, right on Broad Street, right on Ocoee Street. He would walk right down the middle of the road. And if you were parked at a stoplight, he would stick his head in the window of the car and say, "You're all going to hell."
Oh,
Literally. I mean, the guy, sometimes people would take off and go grocery shopping, and he'd be mowing their lawns. When they came back, he'd be taking a tub bath, you know? I mean, literally. But Randy lived right next door to...
That would have been a sight to behold, certainly.
Yeah, really. And not only that, but Randy, you were telling me that, because he was next door neighbors with Reverend Billingsley and his wife, that sometimes he'd get up in the morning, Randy would, and Reverend Billingsley, we called him Reverend Billingsley, would be out on the front porch playing his fiddle, or sit in Randy's father's car and play the fiddle, right, Randy?
Oh, yeah. He didn't come down to the house one time we come back home. We're back, and he didn't lock the doors. He was in the bathtub and taking a bath.
Amazing. You know, there used to be a grocery store, a small one, right across the street from Broad Methodist Church.
Toby's Food Store.
What was it?
Toby's Food Store.
Okay, yeah, Toby, exactly. And he had this lawnmower, push lawnmower, not an electric one or a gas-driven one, but just a regular push lawnmower. And he would set it outside. And I remember taking a chain and a lock and wrapping it around the parking meter and locking it up. You have never heard more profanity come from an alleged reverend in your life. Now, this was, by the way, after he had successfully gone into... Now, this was when it was sunshine outside. That's when you mow lawns, right? He had an umbrella that he carried with him. And I used to wonder what... It was that he took it inside, and he would open it up and throw cans of food in there and then lock it back up and walk back outside, you know. The Reverend was stealing food. He had profanity going, and the guy was one of the cleanest people in Bradley County because he took a bath in most every person's home that he ever mowed the lawn for. Yeah,
Maybe we need to do a story about Reverend Billingsley.
Randy's the one, actually, Randy Fox, give him credit, is the one who kind of turned me on to Facebook. I finally jumped into the 21st century here last year. And between Randy and my wife, Yana, they talked me into Facebook. And I began to write some of these. I haven't mentioned that today, but one of the intentions that I have is to loosely, at this point, write a book about my time here in Cleveland as a child. And my dad, as a matter of fact, working title is Biscuits with Bill, which was the name of his show in the morning. And Randy, you get a couple of chapters out of that, I assure you. But there was a different thing going on in those days here. And of course, as time progresses, things change all the time, of course. But I don't know. It's just it was really Mayberry RFD, To Kill a Mockingbird. It was kind of mixed together. You know, really good kids back here. We didn't tear things up. We just were mischievous, I guess you could say.
We all went through those spells, I guess, at a younger age, you know. And
yeah.
Some things were not.
I never did anything wrong.
So she can cut you off.
What's that?
I said, I'm sure Yana's going to be glad you're on the radio so she can cut you off.
That's right.
It depends on what you call, what you mean by cut me off, Randy.
Yes and yes.
Yeah,
the radio, Bill, the radio.
Oh, okay. All right. Get your mind out of the gutter. So, Randy, I know that you are huge into Vietnam and having served. How you feeling these days, bud?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
But old man.
Yeah. You are an old man. I noticed that.
Not quite old as Ron Moore, but I'm old.
You couldn't hear that, Ron. You had your headphones off. You said not quite.
I don't pay attention to anything.
No.
Nobody else does either.
Well, so we'll be, I guess there's this planning committee that's setting up the 50th. We have our 50th high school reunion coming up in September of this year. Can you imagine? 1966 graduates. It doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but it's been 50 years. It's amazing.
I wasn't even in high school in 66.
No?
No, I'm a young guy.
You appear as though you could have been.
Reform school in 66.
Okay, that's true.
The truth comes out.
I was supposed to have been in high school by 66, but I hadn't made it. No. Oh, Randy.
Yana is a rose among a bunch of thorns down there this morning.
Well, she sure is. Thank you, Randy. I need her by my side to help me out with all this stuff. She's going to try to learn the board for me and then pass it on. She, like I said, you guys got me into Facebook, and I started writing these little short stories. Speaking of Reverend Billingsley, I wanted to expound upon that. Yana's going to come down for the first couple of weeks. Hopefully, Ron, I can talk you into a couple of days, too.
I'll be glad to.
Just to work with the gobs and knobs. I'm just the least technically inclined person you ever met in your life. I've never bought a car and then opened up the hood and looked under it. I have no idea what's under there.
I wouldn't either. Why? I mean, like, oh, is it, a used car, you're like, well, it's clean.
Smells all right.
There's no oil leaking everywhere.
I was telling Randy I would love for him to do some stuff on the air because I think he just has that really perfect Southern voice going on. And most especially East Tennessee on top of that. He's just...
Randy has been on and done a couple
I know he has,
times in Cleveland, and always does a good job. Surprisingly to me that he knew a lot about gospel music.
Yeah.
He's trying to repent for his younger days.
You may not know this.
Those egg-throwing nuts.
Randy has had aspirations at one time of being a gospel singer. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Do a little something for us, Randy.
Well, the only problem about that was, Bill, I couldn't sing.
That always gets on. That was my trouble in baseball. I couldn't throw run or catch. Besides that, I was real good.
No, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get off here and let somebody else call and say hi to Bill, and looking forward to your show, Bill.
Did you hear Bubba call in?
Oh, yeah, he got enough, like he said, he got enough mouth for 10 sets of teeth.
It's always good.
Old buddy Eddie called in. He puts out more bull than the banner does.
Randy, we're going to have to have you come sit down with me a couple of times over here, okay?
I'll do it.
All right. We appreciate it. I'll get back up with you here in the next few days, Randy. I'm anxious to get down there to Hardee's and sit around with the rest of the guys and jaw around about...
Well, I think you've had lunch about in town, Bill, but me.
Well, I just realized how expensive it's going to be to have lunch with you.
Yeah.
But sure enough, Randy, we'll catch up in the next few days. I've just been busier than a one-legged man at a butt-kicking contest here lately.
Well, it's good. Enjoy the listen to the show. You've had a good show this morning. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. We'll see.
See you.
All right.
All right.
Another great guy. Another great guy.
Well, Cleveland has a lot of great people. I'll probably get in that category. We got another phone call already. I mean, you got the phones. Well, people just now waking up.
Waking the town and telling the people. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. You're live.
This is your old sister.
Oh, you didn't supposed to hear that.
Oops.
He was talking about watching To Kill a Mockingbird with his wife. He needs to get Wild River. It was actually filmed here in the area.
My dad took Lee Remick out to lunch a couple of times. We were here during that time, Montgomery Clift and Lee Remick. I remember them walking across the street. But Dad actually took Lee Remick out to lunch a couple of times, and I bumped into her years later in Los Angeles. And she remembered specifically my dad and the wonderful people of Cleveland, Tennessee, is the way she put it. Yeah.
Her hairdresser, a local hairdresser, was Sherry Ledford's mom, and they talked to each other for years.
Yeah. She's down to earth.
She really was.
Yeah, I know. I have seen that movie. As a matter of fact, I thought, why not have a rendition of that movie? Why not shoot it again?
We have David Swafford here in Cleveland, who is the leading authority on that movie, Wild River. He's writing a book about it called, I think he's going to call it Stars on the Hiwassee. So I think this is his working title. And got more research. Matter of fact, he went to 20th Century Fox, and they had a played out the movie again there and put it out on DVD. It wasn't out. And he the press just swarmed him about writing the book. And Bruce Dern, his very first movie was here in Cleveland at Wild River, and so he was very impressive. But David, if we get David coming to your show, he can talk about Wild River.
Great. I would love to do that.
Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Is Bill Stout still in the room?
He is.
I'm right here.
Hey, this is Linda.
Hey, Linda Lauderdale. Linda Lauderdale McNabb. We were just, we spoke to your sister here not long ago.
Right, she's the one that told me to call, gave me the number, because I couldn't pick it up on the radio.
How you doing, darling?
Well, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine as pig hair. We're just, this is really enjoyable to be in the studio like this with these guys. Consummate professionals, and I must say that I'm complimented. Let's see. Well, everybody has more hair than I have.
It's a close race, though.
I just got mine brushed back.
I'm going to let my eyebrows grow out.
That's right.
Hey, Linda, how you doing? I know that you haven't been well lately, huh?
Right, I've been having some problems, but they'll be taken care of soon.
We were just talking about your beautiful dimples. Linda and Randy Fox came over to see us. It had been about when we first got back, and I would have recognized, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who Randy Fox was, but I would walk, I could see Linda coming from 3 miles away. Same radiance, those cute dimples in your cheeks, darling.
Oh, you're nice. I can tell you've been in California too long.
So how is it out on the river?
Oh, it's nice, really nice.
Yeah. We've been following your Facebook, and it looks like you have bird feeders all over the place over there.
Oh, yes, we have hundreds of birds, and it's almost time for the hummingbirds, which are my favorite.
Yeah.
How do you keep the squirrels out of your bird feeders?
You get 2 dogs.
There you go.
There we go. That's what I'm going to need.
That's what we got. There's no other way.
Oh, that's true. I've tried to put up those bird feeders that are supposed to keep the squirrels out. They figure it out.
No, they don't. That doesn't work. They're smart.
Yes.
Linda, I meant to come to, as you know, I didn't make it to the last planning committee for our upcoming 50th high school reunion.
Right.
They've been kind enough, by the way, around here. Even though I left, I still graduated class of '66, so they've been kind enough to invite me to come to the reunion, which I really appreciate. But I still have your annual. I was looking through that. From 1962, I think it was, Arnold Junior High. So I have to find a way to. I was going to bring it back to the reunion meeting or the committee meeting, and I wasn't able to do that. So I'm not sure if I should hold on to it or insist that you come back out to the cabin and see us again, or mail it to you. What would you like?
Well, just the next time we meet.
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully that'll be sooner than later.
Well, I tried to call earlier, so I wasn't really a last-minute caller.
No, not
Mine has been busy.
Yeah, it's so nice. Bubba Cry called in a little bit ago. Did you hear Bubba?
No, I didn't. I can't pick you up on the radio. I guess the river gets in between us.
Well, you can get it on the internet.
Find it on the internet.
What's that?
How's it listed on the internet?
I think just Whoop FM 99.9.
WhoopFM.com.
Yeah.
WhoopFM.com. Okay.
Yeah. You can see us and hear us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a lot of calls today, some bill collectors and a few other things, but they finally, when you're on the air, people find you.
So you'll put anybody on, keep them away, huh?
That's right.
Well, it's good talking to you, Bill.
You too, Linda. Always one of my favorites. Linda Lauderdale was just not only was she in high demand, I can guarantee you that. All of our guys, every guy that she walked by, we were pinging. The heart was beating. It was kind of hard to talk with her because your heart was running so hard. You couldn't hear what she had to say back. Pretty much most of the time she was just going, no, Billy, no, Billy, no, Billy.
Oh, that's nice. I don't remember that part, so. You have a better memory than I do. Well, I'll say goodbye for now.
All right. Well,
okay.
Well, let's catch up soon, Linda.
Okay, we will.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
Great. Man, 2 hours goes quick, doesn't it?
It does. Has it already been? Are we done?
Well, we're done. Unless somebody calls, we'll take calls here. Final comments. You got anything?
No, other than I'm glad that we came back. We had several choices, Yana and I, as to where we thought we would go. We definitely wanted to leave Los Angeles. It's just gotten crazy out there. It really has. congestion.
Nice place to visit.
Nice place to visit. You know, we were out in Malibu, which is just a bit out of Los Angeles or West LA. And even out there, it's crowded. And not only that, but every year you have mudslides and fires and earthquakes, you know. So 38 years was long enough. And I wanted to try some radio. I wanted to do something that I would thoroughly enjoy as opposed to making it a job. And that worked out great because I don't get paid anything by Alan Jones, you know. And then I wanted
and
to...
calling Whoop Radio might be a mistake, though. I'm not
By the
sure
way,
yet.
I must say, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, that Alan Jones and my brother Ricky were very good friends. My brother Ricky passed when he was 16. He fell off a cliff into the river in Northern California. And I think Alan was trying to run down Ricky and ran into my brother Gary. Consequently, Alan and I got together on Facebook, of all things. And I just want to send out a special thanks to him and his family for all the things they've done for Cleveland, number one, but also to give me this opportunity because I call it radiotherapy, my therapy. It's going to be fun to get on the air. It's been... I've been rather reserved all these years. You have to be. You can't let everybody know too much about yourself or they'll run right over the top of you. That's just the way it is, dog-eat-dog world out there. Most especially in a city like Los Angeles, most especially at a business like the entertainment business. So I was going to say let my hair down, but I
you let your hair fall off.
But coming back here really has made such a difference. We're finally relaxed. We haven't been in so many years. You can't afford to. So my hat's off to, and a big thanks to Alan Jones for allowing me to have this opportunity to be on the air. And as I said, my dad, I was trained by my father from the time I was a kid in radio. And his job, he thought, was to be a public servant, to give back, to contribute. And as cliche as, or as corny as they may sound to some, that's what I'm looking forward to do. And I hope that people will enjoy the show. I'm open to criticism. Anybody that wants to say anything about the show and things they'd like to see added or taken off the air, fine by me. Just, you know, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to look forward to speaking to people on the phone. Over the air. I'm going to look forward to playing some music that I think people will like. Even Red will probably like some of the music we play.
You'll get Red. She's all right.
But and all the people we've met, including this company here, just gracious people, don't you think, John? I mean, everybody's just been nice, and it's. I don't know. It's one of those things where you do, in fact, still see brotherly love. I do believe that, and I'm not a terribly religious person, but I am spiritual, and I do believe that this is an incubation of that kind of spirit here in Cleveland. It doesn't hurt to be a little closer to God, and by moving to Cleveland, we feel like we've accomplished that. So I'm looking forward to doing the show. I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys better. I'm looking forward to have you guys buy me lunch from time to time.
Well, I owe you one. That's definitely.
But it's been marvelous to be on the air with you this morning, and I really, really appreciate the opportunity, as I said. And we'll do the best job we can.
That's going to be Monday through Fridays, 6:30 to 9:30. This morning stampede.
The morning
Wake
stampede.
Yeah.
We'll be out there.
Y'all, you got anything you want to say?
It's been a pleasure to be with you this morning and getting to know you, and look forward to many more years.
And she's going to come in here and actually be the engineer for a bit.
Yeah, she is. For a while, she has to. She's just going to have to, because I'm not kidding you. You can show me this thing 15 times and I won't get it. Maybe we should put...
It's easy. Morgan can do it.
Well, we'll just say can.
All right, okay, all right.
We need to put Gianna's face on the screen and blank out
I think
Bill's
I'm
the
going to make
rest
a
of
logo
ours.
that, yeah. You know, Bill's voice on his face. Very good combination. I wouldn't want to hear Bill's
No,
his
it
voice
wouldn't be a
out
good
right.
combination.
Jerry, you anything you want to say?
Just thanks for being here today and enjoyed it.
Basketball game tonight?
Basketball tonight at 7 o'clock at Bradley Central,
And if they
7 o'clock Monday at Walker Valley.
If you cannot be there tonight,
Listen in. You'll hear me on
104.1?
104.1 tonight at 7 o'clock, and then Monday night at 8 o'clock.
All right, and it would be on 104 also?
Yes, the 104, and then on the Buzz we'll have, which is 101.3, we'll have the Walker Valley game at 7 o'clock Monday.
Sounds great. Well, every week we tell people that you've got to save history. It's up to you. you've got to go get the pictures from out from under the bed, now the shoe boxes, find some little white labels, and get someone in your family to help you write down who's in those photos. I get a lot of old photos. I have no idea who they are. I post them on Facebook, and believe it or not, people tell me in a short period of time. So that's a good thing about it. Take a recorder, any kind of recorder, your telephone, and record your grandfather, your grandmother, your great aunt, your great uncle, your mom, your dad, because the day they're gone, history dies.
Yep.
Not only are they gone, but all their history's gone. And I'm lucky that I have my grandfather on tape. I recorded my great uncle recently, and those will be great treasures later on. So we want you to do that. And since Deb's not here, I'll have to do both parts. Today is, but it says we'll always remember Pearl Harbor, but will we remember Aunt Pearl? See, I didn't know that part.
Well said.
Right. Hey, Morgan Denny, Bradley High School intern, run the board for us today. Done a great job, Morgan.
Great
Thank
job,
you so
Morgan.
much.
Only eight things went wrong. Eight's a smaller number than 9.
he walked in. I said, "Guess what you're doing this morning? You're running the board." Me? Yes, you.
Did a good job.
That's what he's here for, to learn, and he's. I hope he's learning a little about history and appreciating history.
I'm fascinated by it, certainly.
I know some of the things his eyes have lit up when we've talked about it over the weeks, and Black History Week. He was just amazed at some of the things that he learned about the racial divide in our country and even in our community. He was really surprised.
Yeah.
So Morgan, if you'll hit that Old Town theme song there.
Where at? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Yeah. Go ahead and click on that and turn off the mics. We'll see you next week here on Old Town Cleveland.
Shopping mall. Ooh, where'd the old town go? Did my hometown get old, or just me? Did all my friends get old, or just me? Are they all gonna have to be told, or just me?
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. Whoop FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.